Welcome to lecture series on digital electronics under EPG Pathshala. This module is dedicated to understand the tracking ADC and successive approximation ADC. Analog to digital converters are popularly used in almost all modern electronic gadgets. Say for example, if I want to record a signal from microphone on a computer, naturally I cannot connect this real world analog signal into digital one, because the signal picked up by the microphone is in the analog form, whereas our computer usually processes the digital information. So there is a need of some kind of data converter which will take care of converting this digital signal in a proper format. So microphone signal would be first converted into digital form using analog to digital converter. It would be processed, analyzed and then communicated back to the loudspeaker. Now loudspeaker requires some kind of analog form once again. So we may use digital to analog converters. The transformation and convergence of digital systems are providing the smart systems today, and all analog systems are getting replaced by the digital system. So we need some kind of interface with the analog world and the digital world. So when we talk about such kind of convergent processes in modern gadgets, we use basically some type of ADC. We have already studied a flash or parallel ADC. The flash and parallel ADC is the fastest of all ADCs, but it has one disadvantage: the cost of the components, and as you increase the number of bits at the output, the number of comparators those are required will increase tremendously. Naturally, we cannot afford to increase the cost of conversion. Whereas the second type of ADCs that we have studied already is counter ramp ADC. In case of counter ramp ADC, we use a comparator, counter and a DAC. The output of DAC is always compared with the analog signal, and once the DAC output crosses the analog signal, the counter receives a signal that it has reached the desired value. But before we start the next sampling, counter must be reset, and from sampling period to the conversion time, the time required is little bit higher as compared to flash ADC. The disadvantage of counter ramp ADC is that it is the slowest one. Now to remove this problem, we have designed or modified the counter ramp in a fashion such that it will always track the input analog signal without resetting the counter. So this is the first change that is introduced in a counter ramp ADC, and such kind of ADC is called as tracking ADC. In this module, we will talk about the principle of operation, construction and working along with the applications. In addition to that, there is one special type of ADC which is called as successive approximation ADC. The major advantage of this ADC is that it has fixed conversion time. So for example, if I have 8 bit ADC, so naturally time required to convert analog to digital is hardly 8 sampling time, that is 8 clock pulses, as compared to say 256 clock pulses in case of worst case in counter ramp ADC. In successive approximation ADC, we use a special register which sets 1 bit at a time, and its contributed is included in comparison process. So at a time we set only the bit. If the output of the comparator is high, the bit is maintained. If it is low, it will be reset. So accordingly we set or reset the successive approximation register bits and get the approximate value or the quantized level corresponding to analog signal. These two ADCs would be studied in details along with their applications. Let us explore the tracking ADC first. Let us now talk about the learning objectives of this module. First, let us understand the limitations of counter ramp ADC and identify the need of tracking ADC. Second, the basics of tracking ADCs would be studied. Third, next the principles of successive approximation ADC will be learned. After learning about principles and working of tracking ADC and successive approximation ADC, advantages and disadvantages will be discussed. The counter ramp ADC is also known as stair step ramp ADC. The principle of operation of counter ramp ADC is fairly easy to understand, but unfortunately suffers from several limitations. In counter ramp ADC, the basic idea is to connect the output of binary counter to the input of DAC. The output of DAC is fed to the comparator. Then comparator compares the analog output of DAC with the analog input to be converted into digital. Once the DAC output reaches the analog input voltage, counter stops counting and binary data is latched. Further, the output of the comparator decides whether to stop counting and reset the counter. Let us now consider the varying analog signal is applied to the comparator. For the given analog signal, the counter and DAC output initially provides 0 volt. As the counter counts up, with the application of the clock pulse, the DAC outputs a slightly higher voltage than 0 volt. This voltage is compared against the input voltage by the comparator. If the input voltage is greater than the DAC output, then the comparator output will be high and the counter will increment the count further. Eventually, when the DAC output exceeds the input voltage, then the comparator output changes from the state from higher to lower. This triggers two events. First, the high to low transition at the output of the comparator causes the output resistor to load whatever binary count present in the counter. This basically provides digital output proportional to analog input. Secondly, as the comparator output goes low, it causes counter to reset the count to 0 on the next clock pulse. After resetting the counter, ADC is ready to convert the next sample of analog signal. But to reach the desired analog input, the counter and DAC need to start over again from 0 to the desired level as shown in the figure. The output of the comparator allows the counter to count the pulses and DAC starts converting this binary input to stair step output as shown here. Once the DAC output reaches the analog input voltage, counter stops counting and the binary data is latched. Further, the output of the comparator resets the counter. It is possible to comment on time required for the conversion of analog signal into digital. The conversion time is variable and not fixed. For example, if the analog signal is higher than previous value, then DAC takes more time to reach the desired analog voltage. Similarly, if the analog signal is lower than the previous value, then DAC takes lesser time to reach the desired analog voltage. For an 8-bit counter ramp ADC, the maximum conversion time is of 256 clock cycle time for full scale maximum input voltage. The smallest conversion time is only 1 clock pulse. In general, the conversion time is equal to 2 raised to n into the period of the clock for n-bit ADC. Thus, the conversion time depends on the analog input voltage. For many ADC applications, this variation in conversion time is not acceptable. This is due to the fact that ADC need to count all the way from 0 to the beginning of the conversion time. This basically provides an ADC with low speed of operation because every time the counter has to start from 0. There could be aliasing effect if the next input is sampling before the completion of one operation. Let us now talk about how tracking ADC removes the limitations of counter ramp ADC. Consider the varying analog signal is applied to the comparator of tracking ADC just similar to the counter ramp ADC. For the given analog signal, the counter and DAC output initially provides 0 volt. As the counter counts up with the application of clock pulse, the DAC outputs a slightly higher voltage than 0 volt. This voltage is compared against the input voltage by the comparator. If the input voltage is greater than DAC output, then comparator output will be high. The counter will increment the count further. When the DAC output exceeds the input voltage, then the comparator output changes the state from high to low. In tracking ADC, in place of using simple counter, an up down counter is used. When comparator output goes low, then the counter starts down counting, thereby decreasing the DAC output. Therefore, when the counter output is 0, then counter counts down and DAC tracks the decreasing analog input as shown here. If the comparator output goes high, then the counter starts up counting and the output voltage of DAC starts decreasing. Whether the comparator output is low or high, the tracking ADC thus tracks the changes at the input of the ADC. Let us now talk about the architecture of tracking ADC in details. In the tracking ADC, the analog input signal is continuous in signal amplitude with respect to time. The difference between two sampled analog values will be small. So, for the first analog sampled value, when the counter has reached its equivalent binary value, the counter is stopped there instead of coming to 0. The second analog value will be slightly higher or lower than the previous sampled value. So, the counter can increase or decrease the count for producing the equivalent binary value. After the first sampled value, the up down counter will track the input value, therefore, it is called tracking type of ADC. The tracking ADC contains 3 major blocks in the architecture. Let us consider the construction of 8-bit tracking ADC. The first block is basically a comparator. Comparator compares two analog inputs. The next block in the tracking ADC is the up down counter. This up down counter counts the applied clock pulses. Here an 8-bit counter is included in the architecture. In addition, there is a DAC for conversion of digital input to the equivalent analog output. The unknown analog input is applied to the non-inverting input of the comparator. The output of the comparator can be either high or low. This output is connected to the up as well as down input of the counter. Depending upon the output of the comparator, the counter either counts up or down. If the output of the comparator is high, then up counting mode is activated, or in other case, if the output is low, then counter activates countdown mode. The output of the counter is fed to the DAC. The DAC must be compatible to the counter, that is number of outputs and the DAC input bits should be matched with the proper data conversion. Here we assume that 8-bit counter must have 8-bit DAC. The output of the DAC is an analog voltage corresponding to the digital count applied to the DAC. The output of the counter provides the binary output corresponding to the applied analog input. After understanding the construction of 8-bit tracking ADC, let us now talk about working of the data converter. Let us consider the initial state of the ADC at the beginning of the complete working cycle. Let us assume that the analog input Vi is applied to the ADC and the counter starts counting from reset condition, which is a power on state. As the input of DAC is also binary 0, then analog output generated by it will also be 0 volt. The comparator now compares the analog input with 0 volt. The output of the comparator goes high. This high input activates up counting mode of the counter. The counter starts counting the clock pulses in up counting mode, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. As long as DAC output voltage is less than analog input, the comparator output is high. This keeps the counter in up counting mode and counter produces binary up count sequence. This causes the analog voltage produced by the DAC. The DAC output continues to increase until DAC output reaches the value of the analog input voltage. When the DAC output becomes equal to or slightly greater than the analog input voltage, then the comparator output switches to low state. As the comparator output switches to low state, the counter is set to down count mode. This makes the counter to generate down count sequence. If analog input is decreasing, then the counter will count downwards, thereby decreasing the binary count. This helps the ADC to track the input. If the analog input is increasing, then after the comparator generates high state and counter will once again switch to up counting mode. Thus the binary count also increases, indicating that ADC once again tracks any changes at the input of the ADC. If the input voltage is constant, then comparator switches to high and low state continuously. This produces fluctuations in the last digit of the binary count. This phenomena generates oscillations at the binary output of the ADC. This is a major disadvantage of tracking ADC. Let us now talk about advantages of tracking ADC. Firstly, the conversion time is faster than the counter ramp ADC. Secondly, there is no latch at the output. The cost is less as compared to counter ramp ADC. The disadvantages of tracking ADCs are: first, when analog input is constant, then the counter produces oscillating behavior, that is, last few bits will continuously change. Second, the up down counter leads to the complexity of the circuit. In short, tracking ADC is the one conversion technique which employs DAC in a negative feedback loop. The DAC output is compared with the unknown analog input. The counter counts upward or downward depending on the comparator output as to track the unknown input continuously. Let us now talk about successive approximation ADC. The basic principle of successive approximation ADC is based on comparison of unknown analog input voltage with approximated n-bit digital value by trying 1 bit at a time successively, beginning with the MSB. Working of successive approximation ADC is explained here. The successive approximation ADC contains 3 major blocks in the architecture. First block is basically a comparator. Comparator compares 2 analog inputs applied to inverting and non-inverting inputs. The next block in the ADC is successive approximation register. This register sets 1 bit at a time with the applied clock pulse. Here an 8-bit register with data and clock inputs is included in the architecture. In addition, there is a DAC for conversion of digital input to the equivalent analog output. The unknown analog input is applied to the non-inverting input of the comparator. The output of the comparator can be either high or low. This output is connected to the D input of successive approximation register. Depending upon the output of the comparator, register either stores 0 or 1. If the output of comparator is high, then register records logic 1, or In other case, if the output is low, register stores logic 0. The output of the register is fed to the DAC. The DAC must be compatible to the register, that is, the number of bits in the register and the DAC input bits should match for proper data conversion. The output of the DAC is an analog voltage corresponding to the digital count applied to the DAC. The output of the counter provides the binary output corresponding to the applied analog input. Let us now discuss the working of this type of ADC. This ADC operates by successively dividing the voltage range by half as discussed in the following steps. The MSB is initially set to logic 1, with remaining bits are set to 0. The digital equivalent voltage generated at the output of DAC is compared with the unknown analog input voltage. If the analog input voltage is higher than the digital equivalent voltage, then MSB is written as 1 and second MSB is set to 1. If the analog input voltage is lower than digital equivalent voltage, then MSB is set to 0 and second MSB is set to 1. The process of comparison and setting the next MSB to 1 or resetting it to 0 continues till all the bits are compared. In the architecture of this ADC, two external signals are also involved. The start of conversion, that is SOC, to start the analog to digital conversion process, and the end of conversion signal, that is EOC, to end the analog to digital conversion process. As soon as all bits are compared, the conversion process is complete and end of conversion signal is applied. At the beginning of conversion, the user must apply start of conversion and ADC itself will generate end of conversion once the process is over. Let us talk about advantages. First, the conversion time is very small for successive approximation ADC. For this ADC, the conversion time is constant and the conversion time is independent of the amplitude of the analog input signal. The disadvantages of this ADC are: first, circuit is complex due to construction of successive approximation register design. The conversion time is more as compared to flash ADC. Let us now summarize the key points that we have studied in this module. The basic function of analog to digital converter is to convert analog signal into digital. In this module, we have studied two different types of ADCs, tracking ADC and successive approximation ADC. In tracking ADC, the output of the counter is in the form of only up down counter. So, it always keep a track of whatever the changes those are appearing at the input are reflected directly at the output without resetting the counter. So, counter never resets. That is the first major advantage of tracking ADC as compared to counter ramp ADC. When we talk about successive approximation ADC, there is one prominent change that is observed. The counter is replaced by a special successive approximation register. The value of the bits could be set or reset depending upon requirement. The speed of the ADC is depending upon the time required to convert the analog to digital. But when we talk about tracking ADC, if the input is changing, it can always track, and time required for the conversion is hardly 1 or 2 corresponding bits or clock pulses. In case of successive approximation ADC, the conversion time is always fixed and the conversion process begins with setting up the MSB first and approximately compare the output of each bit with the analog input signal. So, during the process it might happen that you can get either the output of comparator as low or high. If it is high, the successive approximation register bit is maintained. If it is low, it will be reset and it will move to the next bit. The conversion time is always fixed. That is the main advantage of successive approximation ADC. In the next session, we will talk about integrating type of ADC as compared to counter ramp ADC or DAC based ADCs. Thank you.